Hey friends, it's Lindsay here and welcome to my teeny tiny bathroom. Today we are going to be dyeing my hair. I'm going to be using this live colour Frosty blonde. Now let me say I do not expect my hair to end up this colour. On the back, those are the hair things. I just want it lighter. And I thought while I do this, I will tell you all about the time my best friend abandoned me all alone on the other side of the world. So let me show you what we're working with up here. First of all, the light is quite bright, so I'm not sure how well you can see it. Let me just brush through this. Okay, so yeah, this is what we're working with. As you can see, good 1-2 inches of roots going on. And then this was box dyed blonde, and then here is where it was bleached. And I don't know if you can see it in this light really, but there is still like, because obviously it was green before, there is still a slight green tint to it, which is surprising as it's been months since I dyed it green. So let me section up my hair. Because we're going to start in the back, because again the back is darker than the front. Looks a lot lighter on camera. Let's do some sort of sectioning. So yeah, and I will start on my story. So imagine, me, 2015, you are living in Liverpool. I'd been there a couple of years maybe, and was probably the most depressed and anxious I had ever been. I mean, up until that point, obviously. And I was living with my best friend at the time. So we had met through the first job that I had in Liverpool, which was door-to-door charity fundraising. Yes, I was a chugger. And yeah, it was a terrible job. It was a shit job. And yeah, I'd been living in a shitty bedsit. You know, I ran away from Shrewsbury in the hopes of a better life in Liverpool, and it turns out I hadn't got that better life, and ended up moving in with my best friend at the time because she split up with her boyfriend and, you know, wanted someone to share rent or whatever, which was, you know, great. We did get along. We did have some general housematey sort of issues. We were very different people, like complete opposites. Obviously I'm quite a geeky person, and yeah, she was very much into, you know, hair and makeup and clothes and stuff. And not to say that she was like a chalet person, she was very caring, but yeah, we were very different, and we had a couple of, you know, just general housemate issues. That's a crazy look. Yeah. And then so I'm gonna do the top section of the back, and then we can just work on the bottom, do the top, and then do each side. So yeah, she'd split up with her boyfriend, we moved in, and basically our lives were, yeah, we were just miserable. Neither of our lives were where we had expected them to be at that point. So we had a friend who we'd met at the charity fundraising job, and she had been traveling in Australia and obviously sharing all her updates on Facebook and that sort of stuff. And we were both incredibly jealous. Let me just read the instructions. How long do I need it to be on for? That is all I need to know. 30 to 45 minutes, okay. And I am going to actually be putting this in a bowl just because I've got 2 packs here. Okay, that front one was annoying me. They're all a bit more secure now. Yes. So I actually remember the night. It was New Year's Eve 2015, and it was just us two, just chilling in the house, whatever. And we were talking about it, and we were like, you know what? Fuck it. Should we do that? Should we go to Australia? I had always wanted to travel, like always, but I'd just been too afraid, to be honest. So yeah, so that night we applied for our 1-year working holiday visa to Australia, and it was accepted super quick. And yeah, that was it. It was just then planning on when to go, saving money, etc. I had my cousin's wedding that I had to go to in the May. So we were like, okay, well, we can't go until the May. I literally sold everything. I've just got my gloves on now as I just got dye all over my hands. Yeah, I've kept probably like a box of books maybe. And she basically moved all her stuff just up to her parents' house. One thing that should have been a red flag really was that she got herself a boyfriend a few months before we were leaving. And she assured me it would be absolutely fine, you know, they were going to stay together, but she was just, you know, taking a year to go to Australia. Okay, that is all the mix in. Now just to mix it together. So, where was I? So yeah, end of May, I want to say the 25th of May, but I can't quite remember. We met up in London. She'd spent, you know, a couple of days with her boyfriend. I'd been down at my dad's, and yeah, we flew to Melbourne. We had a week booked in a hostel there, actually in St Kilda, near where one of my friends had spent a load of time. And that first week we had a great time. It was fucking freezing. People who are like, oh, Australia, it's so fucking hot. Melbourne in the winter, no, it was fucking freezing. But yeah, we did loads of stuff. You know, we saw the penguins in St Kilda. We went all around Melbourne, around the lanes, saw a bit of street art, went around the big market. We went to Melbourne Zoo, and it was great fun. And during this time, we were, you know, we hadn't really got much of a plan of what to do. So, you know, we were applying for jobs. Like at the time, it was very much like you would use Gumtree and stuff. So we were applying for loads of jobs, loads of woofing positions. So that basically means you work for your accommodation. So they don't pay you, but you don't pay for accommodation like food and stuff. So yeah, after that initial week, we were like, well, we need to keep moving. We haven't heard back from anything yet. Let's get started. I'm probably gonna use a mixture of, oh, there's loads of hair in it already. Use a mixture of brush and hands. Oh, I'm nervous, it's been a while. Let's just go straight for the back. So yeah, so we booked I think it was like a 12-hour coach ride to Sydney. We'd planned to like spend a week there also. And when we arrived, it was fucking torrential rain for the whole, like we literally saw nothing when we were in Sydney. I think we ended up being there for about 3 days. And yeah, we saw absolutely nothing because it was torrential rain. Oh, this stuff stinks. Oh, oh, that ammonia is strong. And I know I'm not doing this very professionally. I'm not a professional. I know I should do it in layers and that sort of stuff, but it's fine, it'll be fine. And while we were in Sydney, basically not, like I said, not doing anything, not really seeing anything because of it basically raining the whole time, we got a message from a guy offering us a place to go woofing. I think it was cool for Dave the cat because he had 9 lives, like he'd had cancer and had been bitten by a shark and all these sorts of things. And it was in a place called Wooleye, which I'd obviously never heard of before. Did a little Googling, whatever, and we were like, yeah, this is a great opportunity. We can do that, and then we can figure out while we're there what to, you know, do next. We're not going to be spending any money while we're there because our food and accommodation will be paid for. And yeah, well, it's an experience. It's, you know, somewhere we've never heard of. It's with real Australian people, which is the reason why I went. Like, cities are cities anyway. As much as I love Melbourne, absolutely love it, it's just a city and like everywhere else in the world. So I was really excited to go to this, you know, unknown place. It was, you know, there was a beach and everything. So we got the train, we got to Wooleye. Dave the cat picked us up and he showed us around. It was basically like a holiday park, and they wanted us to like repaint some of the chalets and that sort of thing. And we were like, yeah, this is great. This is what we wanted from our Australian adventure. So we spent the first night there, was absolutely fine. And then the second night, we'd spent the day like cleaning the camp kitchen that we use and that sort of stuff. That's what Elle shall we call her, decided that she wanted to do that day instead of doing what Dave told us he wanted us to do. And then we had dinner. She cooked and made what I like to call typical British vegetables. They were very overcooked and that sort of thing. One of the guys, he was an Aussie guy, had taken us earlier like to the beach, and I always remember, it's so funny. The first time I met this guy, he was like, "Oh, where are you from?" I was like, "Oh, Shrewsbury, it's in Shropshire," and he burst out laughing. And obviously I was very confused as to why he burst out laughing when I'm from Shropshire. And he was like, "I never realised it was a real place, because if you search Australian coffee ad Shropshire, it comes up with an advert on it," and he showed me it, and it was, oh, fucking absolutely hilarious. But he never thought it was a real place just because of this advert. I don't know how well saturated this back bit is. Let's just keep working. Then the second night, you know, we'd sat down, we'd had dinner, we'd had a couple of drinks and stuff, and we went back to our little it's kind of like a beach hut, but not. And there were some ants in the room. Now, we both knew before we went that Elle did not like bugs. Like, not just disliked them, had a pretty bad fear of bugs. And I was like, and she was like, "You know, I'll be absolutely fine in Australia. It'll be absolutely fine." Which kind of freaked out a little bit. And these weren't big ants. They were like normal small ants. Like, they weren't red ants or flying ants or anything like that. So we sprayed some spray that we had found. Went back and had another couple of drinks with everyone else. There was like 2 German guys and another English girl had arrived, and then this Aussie guy. And then like an hour or so later, went back to the room, and there were even more ants. And when I tell you that she had a panic attack, you will not believe, like, it was scary, the panic attack she had. She was fucking slapping her face, scratching herself, like full blown panic attack over these ants, over small ants. And honestly, if she could have gone home then, I know she would have. It was that bad. I said it was a scary thing to witness. She decided that was it. She was done with Australia. She wanted to go home. Oh, this stuff fucking sticks. So that was it. We had been in Australia for 2 weeks when she decided that she wanted to go home. The following day, once she had calmed down a little bit, she decided that she wanted to finish doing the East Coast. So she wanted to make it all the way up to Cairns, and then she would fly home from Cairns. So they were not happy about us leaving, I can tell you that, because obviously we had had free food and stuff and had done no work for them. But yeah, so we made it to Brisbane, and while in Brisbane we figured out the rest of the route. We did go to Australia Zoo, which was fucking amazing, because I always used to love the crocodile hunter, Steve Irwin. So yeah, we did that. We went to Harvey Bay, and then we went to Airlie Beach. And normally when you go to like Airlie Beach, you go and do like the Whitsundays or the Great Barrier Reef. But we did none of that the entire time. We just went looking around shops and, you know, eating in restaurants. Like, not, I should have known that she was never really wanting to be a backpacker. No. So we spent about a week-ish, a couple of days, making our way up to Cairns, and we stayed there for a few days. And this whole time, obviously, I'm like, what do I do? Do I go home and admit that, you know, I've failed? Or do I stay on the other side of the world? There's stuff to get in my eyes. You know, completely alone, no idea what to do. And, you know, we had applied for loads of jobs previously, and we did actually hear back from one of them. A woman called Tony, who lived in a place called Mataranka, and she wanted basically staff to work in the general store there. I googled Mataranka in the Northern Territory and realised it was in bumfuck middle of nowhere. When I say that, like I'll put a picture on the screen of the route we did, and then where Mataranka is as well. And in my head I was like, well, this is it then. This is my opportunity to do the thing I wanted to do, you know, live in a place where even most Australians would never fucking live, and yeah, experience the real Aussie life like I wanted. Like, it was the reason why I spent all that money and went that far, because it was the experience I wanted. So after our few days in Cairns, she flew home and I flew to Darwin, and then caught the bus down to Mataranka. And I remember it was dark as well, getting off the bus, and the bus driver was like, the fuck are you doing here? I was like, oh, I've got a job. He was like, good luck with that. So you can just imagine what my reaction was. I mean, the first night I stayed there, I fucking cried my eyes out. But there was a Welsh girl there, an Irish girl, and a German girl. It was fine. And at the time, there was a lot of animosity towards Elle for basically abandoning me on the other side of the world. Like, my parents were happy that I went to Australia because I went with a friend, and they knew I'd be safe because I had a friend with me. And then suddenly she was gone. And now, looking back though, her leaving, best thing that ever happened to me. Absolute best thing that ever happened to me. I'm glad she left, because I went on to have an absolutely amazing fucking time in Australia, which I wouldn't have had with her being there. I went on to meet some amazing people, see some amazing places, live in amazing places. And I know that would not have happened with her there. I think there are times in your life where life decides to throw you a curveball, to test you, to see how strong you really are, to show you how strong you really are. And that was one of mine. That was one of my moments. Another moment would have been getting diagnosed with ovarian cancer, but that's a whole other story. And yeah, it worked out, honestly, for the both of us. She ended up marrying the boyfriend that she had, and they're still very happy together, which is great. And yeah, I went on to live in Mataranka for 4 months. I'm just rubbing this into my head now. I really need to pay attention to the time. Yeah, I lived in Mataranka for 4 months, then went on holiday to Bali with my mum, lived in Fremantle for about a month, and then spent the rest of my time in a place called Bremer Bay, which is the south coast of WA. It was fucking stunning, and it was the best thing. And then I went to live in New Zealand for 2 years, which again was fucking amazing and was brilliant, and honestly would not have happened with her there. She would not, God, her in fucking Northern Territory. I never saw any like big spiders, but had a lot of grasshoppers, that sort of shit, and cane toads. So this is basically all worked in now. So I'm just gonna put it up in a clip, and I will be back with you once I've washed it out, done a purple shampoo, done a deep conditioner, and we will see what we are left with. The roots are starting to lighten up a little bit already. So yeah, we will see what we are left with. Guys, it has been half an hour, which is looking very orange. So instead of using purple shampoo, I may use blue shampoo. And let's see what it is. Let's rinse this off. So now, to answer the question that we've all been asking, Has Lindsay given herself hot roots or ginger roots? Let's see. So yeah, I used blue shampoo, deep conditioner. Let's have a look. Ooh, oh, looking a bit orangey. Let me put just gonna put some of this Jojo Bar in oil infused mask thing. It's meant to be for like thick and very dry hair. I have thin and very dry hair, but it just kind of helps keep it nice and soft. So let's put some of this through it first. I'm gonna go through this. It's looking very ginger, very ginger. I might need to do a full treatment of the blue shampoo and just leave it on. The ends still look kind of green. I'll be plagued by this green hair forever. I did fucking love it though. I loved the emerald green. The temptation now my hair is going to be a bit lighter is to do emerald green again. I mean, I don't think that's too bad. I don't think there's too much of a difference between the root and this bit. It's hard to tell when it's wet as well and in this lighting. So what I'm going to do, tie it up, let it air dry, and then I'll see you in the morning when it's nice and dry. I haven't brushed my hair or anything, but this is the result. The ends are still a different colour and the roots are pretty orange, but to be fair, I prefer them to be a bit darker. I'm glad they're not lighter. I'm very glad they're not hot roots. So yeah, I'm going out later, so I might straighten it and yeah, see. I will show you what it looks like then. This light is very bright, but I wanted to show you it kind of straightened-ish. I'm not the best at it. It's a nice colour. Still light there, darker there, lighter there, and I do have orange roots, which you can see underneath. There is banding. I don't know if I can get better. I don't know if you can see it any better in this, but yeah, it's definitely, the roots are darker than the rest of it. But they're not as noticeable as they were before, so it's all good. Again, very stark lighting, and you might be able to hear my neighbour's washing machine going. Sorry about that. If you've liked this video, please let me know in the comments down below. If you want to hear any more of my travel stories, there's many more. There's many more that I could tell you. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.